Hey, so we're back here, seeing what's going on here.
Is our sound off?
Sound check.
Don't know what's going on.
Okay,
Oh,
now we got
There we go. So good evening. I'll try this one more time. Good evening, everyone from beautiful Apollo Beach. We are here in the South Shore Live Studios, and it was one hell of a week here. You were lucky enough to ditch it. Would you?
I ditched it. I had an absolute ball up at Gettysburg. It was quite an adventure driving through Debbie last night.
We'll talk about
South
driving
Carolina
through
Church.
Debbie later.
Yeah.
That's for another show. I'm happy to be here with Pressure Screen Total Clean Joe, a local business here who, like myself, is a local contractor myself, Howard from South Shore Cleaning Supply. I've got Teo Leonard here, who has a local fundraising business that he'll be telling you about in a few minutes. Also, local folklore legend, and I guess I could tell you in different languages the term, but we'll say the Apollo Beach guru. We have my friend Scott and some other people here in the room. We want to thank you, and please feel free to join us and tell your friends. The idea of South Shore Live is for you to tell us about your business, for us to promote some local businesses, and also share some opinions and some things that affect our South Shore area. We're here in Waterset, which is a planned community, one of the largest in the world. And it's a microcosm of the United States, pretty much Tampa Bay area. By the way, go Bucks. And before I forget, I want to thank and a shout out to Nicole Kavaka for making my beard fantastic. Another local service provider that has encouraged me to keep my beard longer because she makes it look beautiful. Also, we have JD Coaching, circle. We have JD Coaching, who's behind the engineering, giving me fantastic directions tonight. And, this is just, looks like everyone's picked up their drink after that. Teo, please, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll cheers this one.
So time for a little 10
This
cup
is for you,
challenge
Jurgen.
here.
Everyone who helped us get this off the ground. So we're going to talk about some local things here, and I'm going to turn it over to Teo right off the bat. He was able to escape the Stormageddon that left us with 55 inches of rain here. Continue. Tell us about where you ran off to.
Oh, yeah. So I have a group of friends who do a cigar tour in Gettysburg. And I met these guys, and they're like, oh, you got to join our cigar tour. You got to join our cigar tour. So they're telling me, okay, we're going to go to different spots on the battle, and we're going to talk about the soldiers that fought in that battle and the challenges that they had, and then apply them to current life events. And in between, smoke, cigars and enjoy a whiskey or two. What they forgot to tell me was that it's a pastor leadership conference.
Nice.
So
the fine print.
So, I show up wearing my appropriate shirts, which don't have my Web Ninja or my fundraising logos on.
What kind of do they say there? In some respect, they're just local terms that make you feel good about things and make statements.
It was things about Fauci and Biden and the vaccine and things like that. And
so it wasn't like I love Michigan.
Yeah, it's kind of colorful language.
Okay, we'll just leave it like that. And that's all you brought too, right?
Pretty much. Oh yeah. So then, I had to, luckily I went and I got there was a Trump stand right in front of the hotel. So I picked
Hold on one second. I hate to cut us off, but before we go any further, this is a disclaimer that these are our own opinions, having a good old time and trying to entertain you and try and help you and guide you from our own mistakes we've made in this world and some of our fantastic triumphs that we had. So that being a disclaimer.
Absolutely.
Carry on.
So anyway, so I picked up a couple Trump shirts and all that stuff was fine. But I was kind of really bummed. But I got to tell you, this is what is so great about South Shore and Apollo Beach. I'm out of town. And when I left, there was not going to be a storm. So
that's right. You were telling me that. Yeah,
there was no storm.
Nothing.
Okay, I'm checking the spaghetti models, and there's kind of like a drunk fish hook thing that might go into the Gulf and then come back and around, but it's going to be, everyone is convinced that there is going to be no storm. So Friday morning, I'm, almost to Gettysburg, and my phone starts blowing up with, hey, with this hurricane coming, do you need help? And Friday afternoon, people that I just out of nowhere showed up. They brought food for my wife because my wife was home. They buttoned up the boat, they buttoned up the dock, they put stuff on the side of the house and packed everything up, cleaned up my bar patio. Then when it was raining, they came over and drained the pool. And it was so awesome to have all these people call and say, hey, I know you're out of town.
Yeah.
What can we do to help? And they were just a troop. So my wife didn't have to fret, with her being sick, it's a real challenge. So it was just super nice to have people from all over the community, and 5 or 6 people that I actually have never met in person, but just through Facebook and the community, reach out and say, hey, what can we do to help? And that's why I love Apollo Beach, man. 20 plus years, couple of decades, and it's like a family.
It's funny you say that. I got a quick little story. When we moved down here, Waterset had 50 houses, and I bought a pool table. And I went on Peeps, which is a local page, and I said, hey, if anyone's around, I'll happily wine, beer, and pizza if you could just help me bring this piece of heavy shit in my house. Excuse my language. And I didn't think much about it, and I wasn't living here full time. And then I came down here, and they were waiting for me. 7 people were at my house.
Hey,
All right. Now, if I would have done that, going to our other conversation earlier, if I would have done that where I came from and said, hey, can I get some people to help me at my house? Oh my gosh, the responses I would have gotten was, what, are you too cheap to pay somebody? What's it worth to you?
Or it would have been, how much are you paying?
Yeah, what are you
$20
paying?
$20 an hour?
Yeah.
What's the pay?
It's so much different down here in that respect. And there's a lot more community. And I think it's because everybody has escaped from someplace else that sucked.
Yeah.
definitely.
I
know I did.
Where'd you come from?
New York.
Why don't you tell everybody, this is Joe. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Hello,
Okay.
folks. My name is Joe Condi, owner operator of Total Pressure Power Wash and Seal. We're based out of Riverview area, Riverview, Gibson, Apollo Beach. We service all the local areas, and we go about an hour out. Come from New York.
Where in New York?
Westchester County.
Okay, if you don't know where that is, that's a White Plains area.
Yes, White Plains. We're about 45-minute drive from the city.
From
No
yeah.
traffic.
So it snows up there.
Oh man,
It definitely snows up there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
why I
Oh,
haven't
dude.
been.
Significant difference. Listen, it's nice.
Awesome.
You get
Did
a
you
little
get
bit of
report
peace
on
and
that?
quiet from the hustle and bustle of the city, but it's still close enough where if you wanted to go to a nightclub or something like that, or enjoy some good food, it's only a short drive out.
Okay.
The Q5
So
in front
your
of you,
shirt,
Joanne.
your shirt, you do pressure washing, but your shirt says what? Pro screen or rescreen? So do you do screen work too?
So the screening aspect, actually, screening aspect of my business, I actually share with my 2 brothers out of Kissimmee, Florida.
Okay.
Okay, and they are the originators of Pro Screen Plus, but they were getting a lot of calls out of Tampa, and obviously it's not beneficial for the business for them to travel
Sure.
2+ hours for a job.
It's called logistics.
Exactly. So I just had moved here from New York, and my brother gave me the idea. Hey, do you want to run the Tampa operation? And so I said, sure. What are the parameters? He gave me some good parameters. I make a good profit,
Good.
and I handle all of Tampa operations
Okay.
for all of Pro Screen Plus, and that's in addition to my company, Total Pressure.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so that being said, how long have you been in business in the Apollo Beach area?
In the Apollo Beach area, I've been in business 2 years. I started off trash bin cleaning.
Okay.
That didn't take off exactly how I would have liked it to. So I pivoted. I was able to use my current equipment that I had on the truck already. And I just started full-blown pressure washing and paver sealing. And ever since I started, it's blown up. We are busy. Too busy. Almost too busy.
That's something where, like, so we were in Minnesota before, and that was hardly a business.
Yeah.
The pressure washing, you cleaned your own, you pressure wash your own deck or whatever. Coming to Florida, I think it's the HOAs. Every community has, just about every community, you drive around, it's HOA, HOA, HOA.
Oh, yeah,
And they're
regulated.
the Karen and Chads are just anal retentive about, oh my God, there's a little mold or there's a little fertilizer dot
People
on
forget we
the
live-
driveway or the sidewalk, and you have to clean that. And I
Yeah.
just crack up about it.
My biggest pet peeve when it comes to that really is when the HOAs crack down on the residents, that's one thing, right? But when your HOA itself is in horrible condition, but yet you're giving fines to everybody, that's a whole nother subject. Now, gratefully, most of the communities that I service, the HOA is really good about keeping their community clean. So I don't kind of have to worry about that. But certain communities, they don't look so great, but yet they're giving fines to the residents, which is asinine in my opinion.
Well, it's all about money. It's all
Yeah,
about
yeah.
revenue.
They need that
So,
dollar.
We were also we can spin off to the topic that we were talking about as well, as far as cost of living too.
Yeah. So, bring up the stock market, right?
Oh, boy.
Oh man, that was.
You can hit a special effect on
It,
that
it
one.
needs some bringing up right now, by the way.
Holy
oh,
cow!
man.
Does it?
We're waiting for the sound effect. Okay, well, it'll be delayed. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
So, all right, we have to get Mr. Boosted there trained in on the sound effect thing.
That's you. That's you, D Money. I said to be polite. We have a few that you got to be on point, bro. I don't need some of those for the other show. By the way, Happy Buds is on Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
I screwed up. I gave our new engineer in training a little rum, so it could be interesting. No, the stock market, I was driving, so I missed all that information until I kind of got up this morning, and wow, what a shocker. But at the same time, I'm working on business stuff, and I'm seeing how business is down, and it's kind of trying to figure out why. And it's not that business is down from a standpoint that we're losing jobs to somebody else. It's that businesses are just going out of business, or people don't have the same money.
Yeah, it's a little of both for sure.
The music's coming through. Hold on.
Well, that being said, it's funny when you look at how things are. People are fooled. They're like, "Oh, we did better than we did last year." It's like, yeah, but you're not building in the 40% more that you're charging overall costs. So, you might be doing better on paper, but actually you're doing a whole lot less because your dollar's worth a whole lot less. So a lot of people have been fooled, and a lot of people have been using those statistics to make themselves and bolster themselves up. And when the shit hits the fan and they got to really hit the numbers, they're not there.
Well, and we're seeing that on the fundraising business. So we own chancetowin.org, which is a premier fundraising charity raffle site, and we're releasing a new product next week. Probably this week, just depends on timing. And I was looking at different fundraisers that we've done year after year, and we just completed one for a veterans organization, and they did like 50 grand one year, 60 grand, and a steady climb, right? And last year I had just looked it up. I think it was 65,000 is what I said. So last year they did $65,000
in gross,
in $65,000 for one raffle.
Okay, but gross. That was the gross.
Yeah, gross.
They have their expenses.
Yeah, not much. I mean,
Okay,
maybe
sure,
$5 grand. So they cleared probably a $60,000 profit.
Cool.
Right? Good for them. This year they did the exact same raffle, the exact same product set. They marketed to all their past people that have donated over the years, same Facebook stuff, social media, Instagram, TikTok, etc., LinkedIn, and they did 17 grand total gross.
Wow.
And
that's very discouraging.
It's very discouraging. And we're seeing that with churches as well. We do a lot of churches year after year after year, and we have one that is just wrapping up, and they normally do about 15 grand. And they're at like $2,300.
Oof.
And, their congregation's the same size. And I think what we're seeing is, I was looking at some of the stats, and credit card debt is up like
astronomical.
$1.4 trillion of credit card debt. And I think what happened is when the economy started to kind of tank, and the inflation happened, people are like, it's just going to last for a little bit. So I'll keep doing the same lifestyle, right? I'm just going to throw stuff on the credit card. It'll be flat in the curve in a couple of weeks, right? And I think what's happened is they've all of a sudden woken up and gone, This sucks. I mean, Intel laid off 15,000 employees at an average job. What was the average job? 120 average.
120K was the
salary
average.
was 120K.
Plus, I'm sure that some of them packages, and they have their health insurance.
That's
and
a salary range. So you also realize you also have your Social Security, your Medicare, corporate side. You have all the benefits. You have the office cost. I mean, for me, if I have somebody that's making, $50,000, it really costs me about $80,000 for that employee. And they don't realize that you pay about 60% of the salary in cost of employees. But I'm not sure what's going to happen in economy. I got to tell you, I've been in business since the fall of '93 with the website stuff, and I've never seen anything like this.
Certainly feels like the middle class is diminishing.
Right.
They are annihilating the middle class.
Well, there's two things on the earth that I know to be pretty much true. I know that energy makes everything more expensive. If you lower the cost of energy, everything else goes down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and so
that's number one.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, we should talk about energy.
So energy. So I hung out this past weekend with people from all over the country.
Yeah.
And they were absolutely shocked at the cost of I was explaining that my electric bill is running about $560.
Yeah.
And I have a small house. And it's $560. And it used to be $180.
It's one floor too.
5, 6 years, it seemed like 10 years ago, it was like $180 in the summer, and like right about $100 in the winter. And I'm like, $560. I'm like, geez, and they're talking about, in the summer, they're running their AC at 70 degrees. I'm like, dude, I'm bankrupt at
oh my gosh,
at 75. I'm like freaking out, and as soon as the minute my wife leaves, I hit the remote control thanks to Night's air conditioning. Shout out to those guys.
Another local. All I hear is great thing. Local business. They save everyone in the hood. I've never, and I'm a social media hound, and all I hear is nights, and it's good to hear that they took care of you.
Oh, absolutely. They are absolutely the best. And when they came in and they asked the questions, they figured a couple duct things out, which made the AC way more efficient. And they're like, you got to get the remote control thermometer that you can program instead of the other one, because then you can just do it from your phone.
Boom.
And it saves the energy bill. It would be way more money without that thing. But yeah, as soon as my wife leaves, I'm like 80. I'm like, the Ring camera goes and my wife's going to a doctor appointment. I'm like, okay, that thing's going up to 80.
But even the cost of transportation, the cost of everything.
Everybody is, what was funny is most of my friends, most of these people I talk to, they have much bigger houses, right? Midwest homes, and their electric bill's like $250, $275. And I'm like, how in the heck? But if you think about it, Tico, we had to have all this new solar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went solar on my house 10 years ago, and I'm glad I did. I still pay a payment because it doesn't fulfill my entire need. But at max, it's $100, $200 a month with everything cranked. But I paid them $24,000 up front to do my work.
Yeah.
So in the long run, I still have a bill.
And I can't figure out how you got that price, because people are quoting me $78,000 to $96,000.
Because this was 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Now, okay.
I can't make the numbers
I'll tell you why.
At all.
Because remember, when you moved here, there was 1,700 people here. When I moved here, there was maybe 7,000 people. People used to knock on your door and say, hey, would you like solar? Hey, would you like your landscaping done? How much? It was affordable. $30 to get a driveway and a sidewalk done for $30. Now, again, this was only 10 years ago.
Right.
So now, Joe, what is your special for a driveway and two houses?
So,
I mean, a sidewalk and two. Yeah.
Sidewalk.
So generally a 2-car driveway.
Okay.
It's going to include both sidewalks attached to either side, and it's going to include the walkway up to your front porch.
Of course.
Okay.
Which most people don't do.
Yeah.
They charge extra for that.
That's generally anywhere from $150 to $175, depending on size.
Okay. Now, in only 10 years, a guy that I met that was like Joe, who had his own rig, pulled up to my house, was able to do that for $30.
Yeah.
And he was happy. It wasn't like I beat him up on the price, but that was the going rate here. People would mow your lawns for $50 for the month. gasoline was maybe $1.87.
That's probably where I'm feeling it the most.
Yeah.
You know?
In my household is at the pump and at the grocery store.
And that's the fuel
and the
factor.
chlorine for you. The chlorine cost is astronomical.
yeah,
right?
too.
For your chlorine costs, I see the pressure washer
So-
guys just going bankrupt on chlorine.
So now chlorine for me is cheaper in Tampa, but I gotta drive 45 minutes to get to it.
right.
It's not worth the headache, the risk of bringing the trailer during that drive. We all know Tampa, we know
Right.
the traffic, we know the crazy drivers, right? So it's a little better for me to pay a smaller price here or a higher price here, but I'm able to keep my equipment safe.
Cool.
So, it's all translated on the cost of fuel. With that, we're going to take a break in a second. Check out our sponsors and our local people here that want to give you great services at great prices. We've got some fantastic services in the area.
Oh yeah, watch the headphones.
I happen to be here with Aldo, who's in charge and runs the Cars and Coffee here in Waterset, which is a local phenomenon, which is kicking butt here and is a free event. He's going to tell you all about it. Hold tight.
Guys, my name is Aldo. I run the Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're here every second Saturday of the month at the landing in Waterset.
What's it cost, Aldo?
Nothing. Here's the only thing I'm going to ask.
There you
If
go.
like cool cars, cool motorcycles. It doesn't matter if it's a classic and exotic. It doesn't matter what it is. Come here. We need cool cars and cool people. If you're cool, you got to come over here.
You're welcome
Every
here.
Second Saturday of the month. Check it out. We have the food truck. We have White Claw. We have the vendors. Free coffee. We always have
I love the
everything.
Aki. You know I'm a Honda guy.
Yes. So check out the Acura NSXs, the Cybertruck, everything. And guys, follow us. Follow us, Waterset Cars and Coffee, in Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month, 8 to 10 a.m. Have a great day, guys.
Check him out on South Shore Live, too.
Boom.
But didn't we use
Do you know that South Shore Cleaning and Supply is locally owned and operated for over 5 years? Oh, there's Howard the owner. Everyone say hi to Howard. You also might have seen one of their vehicles around town. They offer a variety of cleaning services from carpets to tile and grout, laminate and wood floorings, as well as pet remediation and much more. Call today for a free estimate at 813-364-2185.
Today's featured home is in the desirable community of Waterset. It's nestled in a cozy little cul-de-sac. This home is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with 2,538 square feet, complete with a pool and a spa in your very own beautiful backyard. The Waterset community has dog parks, pools, miles of walking trails, gyms, tennis courts, and more. To know more about this home, give me a call. My number is 702-858-5454.
Hey.
And we're back.
And we're
All right.
back. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for watching and shout out some people. We have Jason, and we have Paul and Collie watching, and Diane and Dave, and we have Skippy and Cubby and Annette and a whole bunch of people who are watching. And we appreciate you and want to thank you. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to hit up our chat. And if you have any would like to put in your 2 cents, now it's about 5 cents.
Yeah.
It's about 5 cents now. You can't put in your 2 cents.
I mean, penny loafers need like a dollar.
they need a
bill.
fucking bucket of quarter in there, dude. For real, it has an ATM chip. It just has like a barcode on it. And you just scan your barcode, and you feel bad for somebody. You send them money. GoFundMe, huh? And if you'd like to go fund our show, feel free to reach out to us and send us any sort of. You can send us some stars on Facebook. But we'll figure that all out. Meanwhile, where we're at, we were talking about the cost of living.
Yes.
So your cost of operating your business has gone up immeasurably.
Significantly.
And fuel is one of them.
Fuel is one of the big ones. Yep.
Cost of housing is going up. Energy, I brought up cost of utilities. When I lived up north, that was 10 years ago. So 10 years. My electric bill in the summertime was $600 to $700 in the winter and in the summer. In the fall and in the spring, it was probably about $250. When I moved here, it was $80. You know,
Yeah.
you know, that's a big swing.
So you were paying electric up north. I was electric. Obviously, everybody pays electric, but I was paying for oil.
Oil,
Yeah.
oil's
So I had
brutal.
to do the oil every 4 months.
In
And
return,
that,
hope you don't take a shower and you run out of
oh
oil.
my goodness!
that
Let me tell you
sucks.
that.
Yeah.
Or yeah, you run out of oil a month early because you have a hard winter, and all of a sudden the guys at your door, and you got to pay an absurd amount of money in order to stay hot.
Right.
Dave Kahn says 20 is the new 10.
Yeah. there you
20
go.
bucks is 20 bucks though, huh? Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube page, South Shore Live, and also our page here. Tell your friends if you would like to have your business spotlighted. We'd love for you to come on. Tell us what we can do for you. Explain to the people here in South Shore what you can offer to them. And if you do good work, you get lots of jobs. If you don't do good work, you don't get much business. It's a small town.
That's absolutely true.
It really is.
And unfortunately with social media, if people make a mistake, they get crucified.
And mistakes happen. They just happen.
Absolutely. I don't know. It's difficult.
Who is that? Scott? You're my he who can cast no stones. Hit me, throw me, hit me.
Yeah. Oh,
Hit me word for word. Go for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not just sinners. We're just stupid. We're animals. We just happen to have a thumb and we can put shit together pretty well. But all of us have been frustrated with IKEA stuff, and and they can figure it out.
Oh yeah.
But we're just animals. We make mistakes, and you can get fried. We had some chick when we first started the business. It was Wednesday Thanksgiving. She begged us to come in to clean the place. We do a great job. We squeezed her in. We missed one windowsill. She goes on Facebook and Google and destroys our business while she's smoking cigarettes in her house and complaining that there's ashes on her carpet.
Huh.
It's like, are you kidding me? This is the day before Thanksgiving. We squeezed you in with $125, whatever it was. But it's like, holy cow, what do you expect? Now I would charge $185. So I feel a little better about it. But the point is like, we give a good price. We do this. We're a small business, and one swipe can just absolutely destroy you. We're in that age of social credits.
Well, and we're on the age of an entitlement. The thing I'm amazed. So we do web development, and our websites, we do a ton of small business websites, but most of our stuff is things that other web guys can't do, right? We built the online raffle system. We have a really cool event system. We have a lot of things that other people haven't been able to build. And on the small business side, they just think, they saw that GoDaddy ad, you can build your own website in 15 minutes.
You sure can.
And it's going to be free. And they don't realize that, like, we're doing something right now with Dr. Nate for Palm Beach Concierge.
Okay.
And, it takes hours to make sure that everything works on the different devices and to extract the data, because as we're building this, we're like, okay, if we can get another 2 paragraphs for this service or this product, right? Or we need a picture that represents over here. But of course, the pictures they have are portrait, and what we really need is landscape, or we have to redesign. And that just takes a little time, right? And I'm shocked at people that think this should be like $200 or $300. And you have security, you have all the basic SEO stuff. Our timeline to put a website live is about 8 hours after it's done. And I'm just shocked at people that are like, well, why should it be more than $200? Or I could go to India and get it done. And they could, absolutely. But then they have to figure out how to communicate. And
we have offsourced a few. I put a few projects in there. It's nothing
shocked.
crazy. And it's kind of like getting the jigsaw puzzle with 3 pieces missing when you do work with those guys.
Right.
Our Happy Buds did some videos, and we hired an outsource and some stuff. And when it's like anything else. When you cheap out, you get what you get, and you wind up spending more. And that's the truth. If there was no variation in life wouldn't be fun, number one. And number two, you wouldn't have many choices. So when you have variation, you might want to do something your way and it's flashy. He may want to do it. It's very contemporary. This person wants to do it. It's all in the way that you want to project your product, but at least it's got to get off the ground. And this show's the same way. You know,
Well, it's like the software. How much money, you got to buy the software, but everybody thinks this stuff should be free.
Well,
you should be able to get all this software and all this stuff for free.
Well, talking of which, you can give us stars because this isn't free, guys.
No.
Don't get me wrong. Feel free to subscribe on our YouTube, South Shore Live. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, that's when we get to make $1.
Now, me personally, I come from
money, lots of money.
No, I come from where nothing is free, but yet I still value so much. The hard work and the effort and the time and the professionalism that goes behind any good product, whether you're cleaning carpets, whether you're doing a fundraiser, whether you're doing pressure washing. It's about what you put into it that makes all the difference in my opinion. And
it's called skin in the game, young man.
And that can be valued as as high as you see fit, really.
Well,
it's still going to make sense, but you understand what I'm going with that.
The second thing, which I know to be true, here's my segue, is that the American consumer is the only reason why this earth essentially goes around. That being said, we are a service society. We don't manufacture much, but we buy things at 10 to 100 times more than anyone in the world, going to every point that we were talking about. When you buy something in another country, it's $1. When you buy it in America, the same product is $10. Mm-hmm. We just put another zero on the end and feel good about us. But without the American consumer that destroys 25% of all the products in the world, we feed the rest of the country. So as long as the American consumer can just fight this battle and keep buying product, we will always win. However, between the cost of fuel and the American consumer, for decades, we had a little break during Trump's administration. We had a real break when we were actually saving money, where our dollar was really going a long way. This isn't going to be a totally political point, but there was a break there. But it just seems like every few sections of life, the American consumer has got to be the one that pulls the world through.
Well, and it's.
Am I wrong in that?
You're not wrong, but I think. There's some clarification.
Yeah, so, and we had our winning run, and now we're just right back, and we're like Rocky in round 13 again.
Yeah, and the point that people don't realize, it's kind of funny. So I do a lot of international business, and in the middle of the web stuff prior to that, I had a marine business, and I made some of my products overseas. We talked about that. I actually had a factory in China, and I would import those items. And the reason I went to China was not for cost. Everybody's like, oh, why are you going to China? The cheap stuff, whatever. No, in the end, because of the bulk and the way that the product worked, my products from China, I saved like a dime, on a $3 product. It was not, there was no benefit, but the quality was the benefit.
The packaging is incredible too.
I was dealing with,
Chinese, they know one thing, how to sculpt a product. When you open up your new Samsung, you're like, oh, behold, or you open your new toy, it's like, wow, this is beautiful, beautiful booklet, beautiful this. American guy puts it in, and it's like, here's a white piece of paper folded over, you figure it out.
Well, we were having, we were having problems with our Kansas facility, and it's union, and we were having some quality issues, and they're like, so. And in China, and so I'm like, well, screw this. So I moved stuff to China, and I'm like, we have a quality problem. And they got 3,000. They don't have unemployment, right? They don't have welfare, right? So I have a quality problem, and I never had a quality problem again because 3,000 people wanted that job of pulling the parts out of the mold, and.
The way they go to business, it all goes down a funnel, and they just bid it, and whoever can provide it at the price that it's awarded to wins, and they win it with honor.
And here's the other piece of that was bringing it into the country, as a plastic nut and bolt. And if you bring it in as a plastic nut and bolt, it had about a 38% tariff. So for $100, I had to pay a $38 tax. But if I brought it in as a marine connector, it was like 16%. If I brought it in as a floating dock connector, it was 0. If it was a floating dock hardware, it was 4%. We found about 35 or 40 different ways that we could classify the item, and we could choose, and you get to choose as a vendor, as a manufacturer, and you can pay anywhere from 0 to 38%. And if you are importing items into the U.S. and paying any kind of tax, you're just too not creative enough to look at the codes. I was going to be, I'm more polite on that. On the other hand, if we're sending items over there, right? So I have some employees overseas, and like if I send them a laptop, it's a 200% tariff.
We sent a buddy of ours a laptop in the Bahamas. It was insane. It was cheaper for me to send the next one there with me.
So what we actually did is we would actually send, I have a business partner in England. That's a true story. To send a laptop to Romania for $1,000 laptop is a $2,000 import fee. But if I send it to England and England sends it over, right? If I send it to my business partner in England and he sends it over, it's $100 import fee. And everything is against America. And so when Trump was running, when Trump was running, I was cracking up because people are like, oh, he does, he says he's going to simplify the import. He's going to simplify. And I'm like, unless you've dealt with this, you have no clue how much the world is against America. We literally pay for everything. And
to my point.
And then our current administration, who now we have the vice president that apparently got picked. I don't know how that's democracy.
We'll go into that to our next segment.
But anyway, she has no clue on the tax basis and what this is going to do to our economy. We have to find a way to make America even on the playing field. It's hard to ship, we can't ship our products to other countries without paying enormous amounts of money.
It's because the impact fee.
But they get to ship their products here. And Intel, there's no penalty for having Intel move all these jobs overseas. And yet our tax dollars we're giving them to Intel so that they can pay severance pay.
But if they want to open a place up here,
I'll pay that.
But if they want to open up a place here, there's so much red tape that by the time they open the place up, it's obsolete. I'll give you an example. We used to sell years ago galvanized trash cans, galvanized buckets. Now, I don't know if you've been to a Depot, a Lowe's, a hardware store, but they used to be a staple in America. Pails,
absolutely.
Even cartoons, they kick them down the street. Wrestling.
Yep.
Okay. So they were manufactured in Kentucky. Well, because of the runoff of the metal and the galvanization process, they decided to off it to Mexico. Mexico decided, you know what? We're gonna off to the Chinese. So now, when you get a trash can, you're getting it from one source, and then you're paying for the freight for that can to come 11,000 miles because of these other countries that won't allow the manufacturing of that product, but China will, and then they monopolize the whole market of it. And now the price of that can, I couldn't give them away wholesale, a 30-gallon can for $12.99 for the lid. That can, I guarantee you, if you go into an Ace Hardware for a 30-gallon can, pull it up on Google, will be $35 to $40. Go, if you want one, go try to find one.
Hey, look at hurricane season, right? We're in hurricane season, obviously. You try to buy gas cans now? What in the heck? All these.
Did you see the adapter on top?
Oh my God! All these federal regulations. A freaking gas can is $60. They used to be $4.99.
$4.
Yeah.
20 years ago, they were $4.99. Now it's $60.
Did you see what they did to the top of it?
Oh, it's impossible to use them.
Good luck using it. I unscrewed the top and just pour the fucking thing in a funnel.
I hate it.
This is the most ridiculous, convoluted, EPA, whatever, OSHA regulated, convoluted microcosm of total bureaucratic bullshit.
And
for
what
a
safety? Because somebody's too
can.
stupid. Okay, because all of us, we just go get a freaking funnel and take it off, and that shit's sloshing everywhere while I'm like smoking a cigar.
But
and how is that safe?
And they're all made overseas because
Oh,
we
yeah.
can't manufacture them here. And it's funny, not funny, but a few of the manufacturers that I dealt with and I still deal with, they sent all their product and sold it to China with contracts. The contracts are running out now. There were 10 and 20-year contracts for exclusivity on products. Now it's just a brand like, what is that? Sharper Image? It's just a brand like Lafayette. They don't do anything. Now these guys make the products, they design the products, and they slap the name on the piece of crap.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Well, now there's 3 Chinese factories that produce them, but it's 10,000.
Correct. That's another aspect too. You can get the same thing in different packaging.
Well, back in the day when I made the floats, and they were made in South Carolina and North Carolina, the large floats. And the other thing they made were the gas cans.
Okay.
And they made, the funny thing about that was the gas cans were all the same, but they had an insert that they'd swap out on the mold for the neck so that the threaded cap was a different thread. Yeah. And then that the label part that goes in. So, you know, they'd sit and they'd blow mold, you know, maybe, you know, 500,000 of these things. And then they'd open up the mold and they'd take out the inserts for the name of the company with, you know, all the warning crap that, you know, has to go in, and then the neck size. And then they turn and make 500,000 of those. And as long as they didn't get interchanged, it was fine. But they look exactly the same. So as the workers are loading them onto pallets and stuff, all of a sudden, you know, this company might get another company's deal. Well, now the spouts don't fit and everything else.
A's or B's and B's or A's.
And I used to watch that all the time. And then finally I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to Saskatoon's and having a little antelope or some elk.
And they shipped the stuff to Mexico until the first set of hoods came up without the foam between the 2 hood pieces and were destroyed coming into the country to be put together, made in the USA. It didn't take them long to bring stuff back.
That's another thing is shipping. You know, we used to run the seas. Now we can't. It costs virtually nothing to ship our stuff overseas, but bring it in from overseas, and then you got what's going on in the Middle East, which is just screwing everything up and taking everything. And you know, any possible way to screw with America, it's amazing.
It's also easy to do right now.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
You know, it's
there's
very
no
easy
backlash.
to do for the last few years.
Yeah, we have no. There's
you get
no
what
backbone.
I'm putting down.
Yeah, there's no backbone.
It's, you know, I think there's a consensus that that we have really lost our stature, and in many respects, not just financially, but as far as the respect. And people say it doesn't mean much, but when you give someone an inch, they turn into a ruler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it's funny. I have a lot of friends overseas. And,
you see what I did there? Thank you.
And they all hated Trump, right? And
they liked his results, though.
Well, no, the overseas people didn't, because the dollar was stronger and their currency was worth less, right? And so they didn't like Trump. They also didn't like Bush. You know, after they loved Clinton. And then once Bush came in office, and they hated Bush. And then they loved Obama because, again, the dollar's weaker. And then they hated Trump. But now it's kind of weird because they really liked Biden. They were all ecstatic about Biden. But now I get the feeling that they're like nervous because America drives the world economy. Everyone says it's only America. It's not, you know, the world. And they go, oh, gas price, everything else. But I think, and you look at the stocks, and you look at a lot of the big conglomerate overseas funds that dumped a ton of stock yesterday. And I haven't had time to really dig into it, but I saw a bunch, and I'm like, it wouldn't surprise me if they just were like, you know what? I think America's kind of screwed up, and let's just take it's not worth keeping the money in anymore. I think it's too much of a risk. I think they could really collapse. You know, like who's going to go buy stock in Venezuelan companies for the last like 8 years, right? Okay. Or who's going to be stock in Cuba stuff, you know?
Well, they're saying we might go that direction. I
You
mean,
know,
it's a
we're-
possibility that we could just deflate very quick and over accelerate, and all of a sudden we have no goods, we've got no trucking, people don't want to go to work, and that's that.
I think instead of focusing on policy, the quote unquote left has focused so much on everything else, right? What's a woman and a man, and
It's all distracting.
trans this and trans that, and
We're running on
and
autopilot.
and racism, and it's just the same ticket over and over and over again to try to keep some relevance. I think finally maybe it might be dying off.
We're
Maybe.
exhausted.
Just yeah,
We're
yeah.
totally
I
exhausted
think
every
we got
3
nine-
days.
I
the border-
hopefully think that it's so done that you know that this administration, if one thing that they did was bring such hypocrisy to light, almost to such light where it's like, okay, too far. All right, and we all see it now. Okay, well, and it's like, because so many of us have had blinders on because we're indoctrinated with blinders.
We're also too busy
right?
working.
Yeah, and so all of that combined, I think we're finally fed up. Hopefully,
You know, it's weird because I have a handful of friends that are on the left, and they're all like, I'm with her, I'm with her, I'm with her. And I'm like, but what has she done? Oh, the economy's great. I'm like,
again, the policy.
okay,
right?
so the stocks were good because we falsely pumped up the tech stocks due to taxpayer money invested in that. So all of us in this room donated to the chip manufacturers. We all donated to the banks. We all donated to corporate America.
We've donated to Ukraine.
But
Holy
but
cow.
what about the small business? And if you look at the policies, I mean, we can look at corporate tax stuff on the same thing, right? So when Trump reduced corporate taxes to 25%, everyone's like, oh, he's getting the corporations richer. Well, at the same time, he adjusted the write-off. So you can't write off your sports tickets, right? You can't write off your private jet. You can do the cost of your normal airfare, but you can't write off $30,000 to fly from Tampa to Gettysburg and back. You can only write off like $3,000. So the strip clubs got declined, the entertainment, all those box seats and stuff. Country clubs. It hurt the executives, right? It was good for the company, but it hurt the executives. And if you go up north, all these country clubs are begging for members because the companies can't write them off anymore, right? So all these people lost their country club memberships.
It actually hurts more the people who are working in the country club.
Yeah.
So
When you stimulate the economy, it's pretty good.
So it created deflation, right? Because those high-end items were less desirable, but the companies, the corporate, had more money to invest and created more jobs and more investment because they're not spending the money to have their name on Raymond James Stadium for the Bucks, right? Or all these other things. There were caps on that. But when you look at the policies, it was good. The end result was really good. And yeah, the corporations did well, but all of us did well. Now, when you take that away, the corporations are making big profits under the current policies, but all of us, we have to come up with another $24,000 a year to maintain our lifestyle. If you're in that $50,000 to $100,000 range, if you make $50,000 to exist, you have to have another $1,000 a month.
Well, it used to be
of income
$75,000
and
for
$2,000 a month to maintain your current lifestyle at $50,000. So if you're making 50, you got to make 75 to just stay the same. And people aren't doing it. So we see the credit card debt. We see people going, well, hell, I'm going to freaking.
I feel like right now
borrow
I've
my
made the
neighbor's
most I've
car
ever
washer.
made in my life. Right now, probably. I'm probably where I was when I left New York and I left my tree company. I sold it off for peanuts, which I shouldn't have done. I fully regret that.
But you wanted to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, but I wanted to get out of Dodge.
And that's the payoff
So I came
alone.
down here and I started new, and now I feel like I'm back to the level that I was when I left New York. But man, it's nothing. It's almost nothing. Now, granted, I'm a sole income for a household of 6 and 2 dogs, and they're very big dogs. But
Cool.
but so doing it all on my own, it's a task. Let me tell you. And again, I'm making the most I've ever made. But
Well,
it's
we
a challenge.
We discussed this too. Women were brought into the workforce not because we needed the workers. It was so they could be taxed.
Yeah.
We just brought in 46
Mhm.
million more people, and when your parents, one household, one person went to work, the mom stayed home, and she could take care of the kids on one salary. You watched it in the Honeymooners, you watched it in the Flintstones, you watched it in Dick Van Dyke, you watched it in all these things. The Brady Bunch had 6 freaking kids,
Right.
and Tiger.
And a housekeeper.
And a housekeeper
Yeah.
on one salary.
Alice.
And an architect. He probably made in 1972 an architect kicking ass maybe $19,000 a year, $22,000, killing it. If we could ask Alexa what was Mike Brady's salary, but when you take that into perspective, now you've got 2 people working. You got usually a husband or wife working 2 jobs.
Mhm.
He made what, $5,600 a year? That was Mike Brady's pay in 72, 73? 60 what? Okay. So this guy was making less than 10 grand a year. He's driving, and you watch the TV show, he's driving a Corvette, he's driving a GTO. I mean, he's not driving some hoopty back then. And that was the American dream that was sold to us. Now you need $100,000, which is coincidentally $24,000 than you needed before.
Right.
It was $6,000 because of how much costs have up and how much our dollar is worth less.
Right.
And it's amazing.
I take that back. He was an architect in 1969 in California and made $13,638 a year.
I started with that salary when I met you in 1992. That was my job, $13,200 a year, $7.25 an hour, and I killed it. I was able to live.
Oh man, to live.
I was able to live on
like
that. My apartment was $400. My car insurance was, I don't know, $60 a month. Weed's been the same, but that's between you and me.
Yeah.
Something, it's amazing. Weed, bread, and liquor doesn't go up. Did you ever think about that?
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had 2 cars and a phone and a color TV. They were living.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the TV was with green stamps, or was that the camping equipment?
The camping equipment. Yeah. And they didn't have a cable bill. They
And
didn't have a
nice
Wi-Fi.
clothes. Nice clothes.
They didn't.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't have 9 telephones.
Right.
So I mean, when you really think about the lifestyle, you watch these TV shows, there's no computers.
No.
Nothing. You watch these crime episodes, they flip the piece of paper over and some man write some notes down here. It's like paper piece of, they actually carried a pen and a piece of paper. So with that being said, we're going to take a little break here, and thanks for tuning in, and we're going to wrap it up in about 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. So stay tuned for some commercials, and we got a topic or two, and I'm walking out of here. Thanks,
There we
guys.
go. $23,000 in 1967.
Gosh.
I happen to be here with Aldo, who's in charge and runs the Cars and Coffee here in Waterset, which is a local phenomenon, which is kicking butt here and is a free event. He's going to tell you all about it. Hold tight.
Guys, my name is Aldo. I run the Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're here every second Saturday of the month at the landing in Waterset.
What's it cost, Aldo?
Nothing. Here's the only thing I'm gonna ask.
There you go.
If you like cool cars, cool motorcycles. It doesn't matter if it's a classic, an exotic. It doesn't matter what it is. Come here. We need cool cars and cool people. If you're cool, you gotta come over here.
You're welcome here.
Second Saturday of the month. Check it out. We have the food truck. We have White Claw. We have the vendors. free coffee. We always have
I love the
everything.
Ackie. You know I'm a Honda guy.
Yes, yes. So check out the Acura NSXs, the Cybertruck, everything. And guys, follow us. Follow us, Waterset Cars and Coffee, in Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month, 8 to 10 a.m. Have a great day, guys.
Check them out on South Shore Live too.
Boom.
Welcome to your new home in Waterset. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home in the sought-after community of Waterset. With a low HOA and tons of amenities in the community, you will absolutely love living in this house. Love this house. See it in your eyes. Give me a call at 702-858-5454 and I'll show you in person.
All right, so we're back, and I'm here with Teo Leonard, local,
Howdy.
and we have. I'm just gonna put local. If you don't know him, then you either should know him or you're gonna meet him.
Yeah, loco, exactly.
The captain, as I met him, and my buddy here, Joe from.
How you doing? Total Pressure.
Tell everyone what you do there, real quick, Joe.
So I am Joe Condi, owner operator of Total Pressure, and we do power washing and paver sealing.
I happen to own South Shore
And-
Cleaning and Supply, and my name is Howard. And continue, sir.
And I'm Teo with the Web Design Ninja, so small and medium business websites, and anything complicated that you can do. Also, we have chance2win.org, chance2win.org, and we do fundraisers. So if you have schools, we do. It's a season to start doing school fundraisers. We do a lot of churches. We do Habitat for Humanity, etc.
So you can take any organization, if they need to raise money, you can put together a program for them, and once they introduce it, they make money.
Correct. Yeah, they would raffle off an item, and we have ideas. The schools. I'll talk about a fundraiser because I hope these guys do it. They haven't done it in a few years. So it was up in Virginia, and a elementary school PTO, PTA, whatever the parent teacher association.
PTA.
Well, and they don't call it the PTA anymore. It's now PTO or something. I don't know, or whatever. So anyway, they teamed up with the local fire department. And parents, if you guys are listening and you have a school that you want to do a fundraiser for, I'm going to tell you this one rocks.
Okay.
And it was one of our first. It dates back to the very early days of when we released this to the masses. We built it for friends and family. It was never supposed to be a business. But they teamed up with the local fire department, and they did a grand prize and a second prize. And the grand prize was the fire department would pick up, let's say, whoever wins, and they could put the student's name in, right? So we would buy tickets for, whoever, and, little Johnny. So little Johnny wins, and the fire department would come at the end of school and pick up Johnny and like 5 of his friends or her friends,
there you go.
Jamie or Judy or whatever. Can't, got to be politically correct here. And they would take those kids back to the fire department and the firehouse, and they get a tour. They get to slide down the fire pole, and they, barbecue some hot dogs, order pizza or whatever. Right. Or the other prize was they get to pick up, the winner with some of their friends at the house, and they get to ride to school in the fire truck. And then the fire people would have donuts and chocolate milk and juices and stuff and do this. Right. And they had done this in person, and they would raise like maybe $1,000. Right. Okay. And it cost almost nothing. Right. I mean, the firemen would even pitch in for the food or whatever, so the parents didn't have to do that. Or one of the parents would say, well, I'll donate the hot dogs and buns or the donuts or something. So they used our platform, and it was absolutely hilarious because all of a sudden the mom that had organized it, she's like, we have all these orders coming in from Columbus, Ohio, and we're in Virginia. Well, what was happening was grandma's at the beauty shop getting her hair done, And she's like, you guys all got to buy tickets for little Johnny, right? And then there's all these orders from Omaha or, Apollo Beach, Florida, right? Where grandma and grandpa or the aunts and uncles are going to their friends going, hey, buy some tickets to help my, my nephew or my niece or my grandkid stuff. And they raised like $26,000 off of a freaking fire truck ride, because what happened was the parents, aren't going to outdo the other parents, right? So it got this whole competition where you got to help my kid win this. You got to help the kid
battle
win this.
of the blue hairs.
And it was hilarious to watch the order morphine across the country. And that's one of my favorite fundraisers for a school, because it costs literally nothing.
Oh yeah, because the fire department's not. That's part of their program. They love doing that.
And you get into this competition.
Can we do it for adults?
Probably. Why not? We could probably do it for like each group or something. Have to have a charity. It has to be a legit charity. It has to be an
Corral or something
there.
Like that. She does a wonderful job. Care or one of those guys.
We now have our Queen of Hearts, which is kind of cool. That I hope we do this a lot with. It's real popular with like Moose and the VFW and stuff, but it's progressive. So, and it's a 50-50. So that costs no money to get started. I mean, $329 to use our platform. Which, if you're on the show, I'll cut you a deal. I'll get you a coupon or something.
Nice.
Coupon code Captain.
Yeah, hey, we can do that. I'll make that. But a Queen of Hearts, it's a 50-50. So the more that people that buy tickets, then you split the prize. And that's progressive. Like the local Moose Lodge, we had one where it was like $100,000 as it gets towards the end, because
they crush.
Yeah, because they go in, let's say I buy 10 tickets, right? So you're going to do 10 tickets for $25 or something. And then you can select what cards you want. And then a ticket gets drawn, gets selected. And that was card number 14. And okay, it's the Jack of Diamonds. Oops, no winner. So the pot rolls over till the next week. Now you can pick any of the cards.
We know somebody.
Except the Jack of Diamonds, right? And then you can do this. Well, and both jokers are in play as well. So it could go 54 weeks.
That's a pretty big pot.
And it could get really big. Now, a lot of them might do, a ticket for $1 or something like that. But I'm a fan of, a ticket for $5, 3 for 10,
oh yeah,
25.
Sure.
But there's a lot of ways to do a raffle or fundraiser with no money down, or no money for your prize scenario. There's also get something donated, etc. So if that's what we could do. I didn't want to talk about my business.
No. But anyone watching this show, this is a great idea, especially Cars and Coffee. Aldo and Andre, the baseball teams, the little league teams, they're out there all the time. Holy cow. I think we should try one. I mean, Cars and Coffee is well,
they have to be a legit
they are.
IRS recognized nonprofit.
Oh, the baseball team.
The sports teams are. Yeah. The thing about Florida that's kind of interesting is all these charities have to be registered with the Department of Agriculture to collect donations. A lot of the
what are you donating? Apples and oranges?
Well, no, but it's called a solicitor of contributions, and it got in place when Nikki Fried anyway. It's one of those things. It's like $35, but a lot of these organizations don't realize. They go, oh, well, I'm registered as a nonprofit. Well, you also have to pay your $35 and register with Florida. And because we're a licensed fundraising consultant in order to sell our software, that was part of the whole vaccine thing. We could lose our license so we had to do the vaccine thing. But you have to register. So in Florida, a lot of times there's a delay because people have not filed the paperwork that they can. And it's like a $10,000 fine if they don't. So we just tell people you have to do it if you don't. And they now have all kinds of people that are searching for fundraisers being done that don't have their permit. So anyway,
I want to thank some of our supporters
Absolutely.
Who help us out all the time. Pool Kings of Apollo Beach, great local business. Who else? Jen Budd, who makes our room smell terrific. She sells Sensei. Also, our friend Jamie at South Shore Signs is terrific. She hooks us up all the time with signage and all sorts of promo stuff we do. Nicole, fantastic. Also, JD Coaching, who sponsors our drink, fridge, and engineers the show. Let's give a little up for
Absolutely.
Joanne.
Thank
Little
you.
golf clap. And we hope that you tune in next Tuesday with us. Also, make sure that you subscribe on South Shore Live on YouTube. Would be awesome. Tell your friends. Please, if you're a local business here, join us. Tell us what we can help you with. Joe, real quick, what can we help you with?
We can help you with pressure washing. Anything you need pressure washing related, Total Pressure can certainly take care of it. Give us a call.
Okay, and how do they reach you? I see your Pro Screen Plus and your logo up there.
So you can reach
got a
me at
website?
Facebook, on Facebook, Pro Screen Plus, Total Pressure. And I guess, well, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I'm in the community. I'm out there. You'll see me.
Okay.
I wave. I talk.
Cool.
Also, too, I'd like to say, if you like my shirt, Good Morning, Don't Be a Shitty Person today, they're available for $10 each, $20 each. If you'd like our, what do you call this, wicking within Apollo Beach is my Happy Place shirt. I would twirl around and show you, but we'll put it up on here. Also, too, South Shore Cleaning and Supply. We do carpets, we do tile, we do grout, we do upholstery. We're here at Apollo Beach. We don't live off people's pain. Just to let everyone know, if with the storm that has happened here over the years, if there's a problem and it's local, we don't charge people. I mean, Mother Nature shouldn't be the reason why you open up your wallet. You know, we don't live off our customers' pain. And I've turned the business over to my son-in-law and my son, and I just want to give them a shout out. They do an amazing job. They're available 813-364-2185. And, they're available for bar mitzvahs and brisses as well. We offer that service. We just want to get a fair job and any opportunity that we can possibly do. Adult circumcisions, I'll take that lead. We do windows as well, but that's
Whoa,
optional.
I'm jumping out.
Whoa. Also, too,
yeah.
South Shore, go. That's right, South Shore Sports Entertainment Magazine. Check it out. We're going to put the link here. There's a lot of great content in there. All the events going on, sports, entertainment,
Hey, look,
music.
There's something I want to touch base on
Hit.
real quick before we bug out. Is right now a lot of storm damage, some flooding. I saw some flooding going on, stuff like that. If you need somebody to fix something, all right, feel free to drop us a note on Facebook or on the YouTube in the comments, and we're happy to recommend somebody. We're not talking this isn't a BNI thing.
We know
where you gotta
people who do good
credits or
work.
whatever, but we know people that do good work, and there's so many scammers out there. I just had my roof redone, and I was shocked at the wide variety of offerings and prices and quality of work and everything.
You have
else.
to be so sharp nowadays. The things that look the realest are the fakest. It is unbelievable how people get hoodwinked every day. You see it online, and they're recommended, and it's just amazing. And I don't understand. I gave him $1,300 and he never showed back up.
And I see it all the time with like the BNI groups and things.
Oh my
where
gosh.
they have to get points. They got to refer so many
Correct.
people, and it's like you wouldn't let them work on your house, but you're going to refer them.
If you knew,
and that's why we kind of built this. By the way, we built this so that we would be able to be a resource for people, and that's why I built the Apollo Beach Clothes Group,
which is a great group.
I wanted it to be about helping the neighbors, and I don't get money out of this. Okay.
Thank you.
No.
So,
and that's
Thank
the
you.
point. I don't want to slug somebody, but if you knew that someone was recommending somebody else, and if you knew that they were getting something out of it, like a payment or a credit of some sort, would you really take that recommendation without realizing that something suspect is about it? And that our recommendations are from people that we know, people we've done business with. Again, I've been here for 10 years. He's been here for 20 years. This is an area that most people stay in for 2 years. It's that simple. And if you are a local business, we'd love to have you on. If you're a local consumer and you have something that or services that you would like, please reach out to Teo, myself. We're in the hood, and we know some people. Also, a shout out to Coy Boys Landscaping. A shout out also to who I can't hear that. Oh, Judith Cordero, without a doubt. Let me tell you something real quick. She's a fantastic marketer, but I don't want to tell you that much about her because then she'll take my time away from her. She does some fantastic work for us. You got to meet her. She's a wonderful
Okay.
woman. I mean that sincerely. And again, thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Make
It was
sure
a
you
pleasure.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you,
coming
Joe.
back.
Thank you.
Next.
yeah.
My biffle, and my rock. This guy here, the special guest that you see coming around, this guy has been with me in my best and worst times in the past 4 years of my life. Scott Meredith, thank you very much for being that rock in my life. And you traveled across the earth with me, and you've been there with Tom Brady with me in the good times and the bad times. By the way, the Buccaneers on Thursday night is their first preseason game. If you'd like to join us, please come over to the house. You're welcome to do cannonballs in our pool.
Yep.
Nice.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks everybody. You guys have a great week.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
You got it.